Hello, everybody, and welcome to round 4 of the Wood Green Invitational. We'll go straight into the games. It's been a very exciting event so far, and the leaders at the moment are on 2.5 out of 3, Ravi Harrier and David Fitzsimmons.
Okay, so yeah, we've got some interesting games so far. We've got Conor Murphy. So we've got Daniel Fernandez against Conor Murphy. We've got Marcus Harvey against Tim Wall, who had a great day yesterday, double round.
He won both his games against title players.
Indeed. So very, very good day for him yesterday. And we've got Jonah Willow against Joseph McPhillips. We've got Zala Ur against Ravi Haria. And we've got Ketavan Arakamia Grant against David Fitzsimmons. So plenty of interesting stuff. So let's start at the top with Daniel Fernandez against Conor Murphy. And, well, let's have a look how this went. Looks like a Catalan to me. So, pardon me. Knight f3, knight f6, g3. And, yeah, plenty of possibilities for black, ranging from solid to...
I'm not seeing the moves on your screen, Matthew. I'm seeing the final position.
Oh, good Lord. Actually, am I... I think I'm moving the... I'm actually... yeah, there we are. That's the one I'm sharing. Sorry. Let me just redo my... I was moving them on a different tab. There we are. So here we are. This one. Aha. This is a Catalan. Yeah, plenty of opportunities. You've got solid or a bit more spicy. Conor went for something a little bit more spicy, played a6. And normally, yeah, I mean, white just ends up gambiting this pawn, playing either castles or knight e5. Daniel played a4, which is a little bit calmer. I thought actually that the best reply to that was to play knight c6, and then you get to play the knight to a5 and aim at this b3 square. I thought that was actually quite decent because a4 is not a normal sort of reply. But Conor went c5, castles, and c takes d4. Yeah, makes me just always makes me a tad nervous, these sort of plans in the Catalan, because I mean, after all, you know, the big reason that white puts this bishop on g2 is to be able to charge across the h1a8 diagonal, and playing d takes c4 and then c5 c takes d4. It really makes this bishop very powerful. Now you might be able to just get everything out of the way, and then, you know, just have a just neutralize that pressure, but it does make me a little bit nervous
because white's basically going to take both those pawns.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, I'm just trying to think what the normal theory is. It's a little bit odd because a6 and a4 have been included. I mean, knight c6 looks like a very natural, you know, idea here. And if d takes c5, or we can go queen takes d1, rook takes. And I know this. Sorry.
I just said high ocelot.
Oh, I mean, this is known without the pawns on a6 and a4, but I'm just wondering who this, to whose advantage this actually is. I mean, the normal line c3, I mean, it looks to me to be an advantage for white to have these moves included. So, yeah, not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure about what Conor has done there. I said I think knight c6 on move 6 was probably a bigger test.
Did he have a bit of a think?
He did have a bit of a think.
So maybe he just didn't know the theory.
Yeah, maybe just out of book already. I think a4 is quite unusual. So queen takes d4 played, takes, bishop c5. Yeah, now white has to decide where to put the pieces. There's quite a few tempting ideas, really. I mean, even rook d1 doesn't look silly in some ways. Bishop e3 is always an idea, but never 100% clear whether these tactics are working with, you know, knight e6 or whatever. Got to be got to be sure that it's working against stuff like knight g4. Knight c2 is just an interesting one. gets the knight out of the way, and well, we've got all sorts of ways of trying to pick up this pawn. We might even just go bishop e3, and with the idea of if bishop e3, then knight takes c3, takes c4. So black plays knight c6 now. Bishop e3. Black decided to retreat the bishop back to e7, and now knight d2. And yeah, I mean, in principle, if white manages to play something like knight takes c4, then yeah, white it's going to be reasonably happy. Bishop cutting across the board, little weak square on b6 to attack. So Connor went for something quite, yeah, very sharp. Anyway, I mean, we're going to have to see how this works out, but it's quite risky.
Okay, and this is how we got the position, because he went to go bishop b6 and then knight into b3.
Yeah, so we're protecting the pawn on c4, so bishop b6, attacking it. Knight b3 now.
So I was sort of saying it was obvious white was going to get both those C and D pawn, but actually he hasn't got them both yet, although it does still look
not
like
yet.
he will.
But yeah, after knight d4 now he's attacking, pardon me, he's attacking b3, so that one is definitely going. But now we've got to work out, really, well, black's got to work out what he's going to do here. I mean, in principle, black can't really afford to play super quietly like castles or something, because we'll play, well, at the very least, we'll play something like knight b3. And, well, we've got the bishop attacking here. This bishop is well placed, stopping a rook coming to d8. And we've got moves like knight a5, knight c5, rook c1, rook d1. I mean, there's plenty of potential there. And I mean, black can play, a move like knight d5. That's possible. But again, I think, white's definitely a move like knight d5, for example, bishop c5. White's definitely going to have a little advantage all the time. Yeah, as always, never 100% clear how huge it is, but it's definitely more pleasant for white. So let's have a look to see whether black can do anything unusual here to get himself free. I mean, one obvious idea, if you really want to try and make this work and put obstacles in black's path, is to play knight d7. So hitting this bishop on b6, which is a little bit restricted because of the knight on d4. And I mean, white can either go to c7 or to a5, c7 being just a little bit more natural. And then I can try, I can try a couple of things. I suppose I could try bishop f6. That could be one idea. Or what I was really thinking about was to play knight c5. So defending this pawn, hitting this one, and you're intending to play bishop d7, I guess, next, and then rook c8. So what can we do about that? I mean, we've got a couple of nice ideas. I mean, even knight c6 is possible. Obviously, takes, we take on a8. And it's it prevents black casting, of course, and has a few little tricks. Not quite clear how dangerous that is, but it's definitely an idea. So I mean, maybe one thing we could try is to play rook fc1 here. Just hitting the knight on c5 and then probably threatening knight c6. And what black's intention here? Black wants to play bishop d7 here.
Oh, you're not going to go sacking things.
Well, I want to go knight takes a4.
Yeah.
And yeah, having a6 is quite handy because this doesn't achieve anything at all. I've just got rook a7. So bishop d7. And now we need something clever.
So what if we just do normal? What if we just go like a5 or something?
Yeah, a5, I go rook c8, I suppose. And then if you go bishop b6,
yeah,
I will maybe, I've got a couple of ideas here. I mean, castles kingside is maybe interesting here. I mean, takes, I've got to watch out for my pawn on b7. Rook c5. one of those positions that's difficult to be sure about. I'd need a little bit more analysis. It might be a little bit annoying. This looks like it. What I could do, I could also play to move e5. But again, I might just take there, go knight b3, and then this one's hanging. I mean, actually, Connor's played knight d7 here, so he did play it. And Daniel whipped out bishop a5, which doesn't feel as good to me. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, not 100% sure. Bishop c7 felt, sort of like closer, really. But okay, bishop a5 played. So we're still threatening knight b3. I mean, I think the idea is that maybe this bishop could come, round to b4, c3 later. But, well, let's try and play knight c5 here. I mean, Daniel again playing super fast, which obviously is, going to put pressure on.
Yeah, he is. And yeah, so I don't know whether that's because he knows the moves or whether he just feels like playing fast. I got the impression yesterday he was feeling like playing fast.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing here as well. I think he's got some sort of course, but yeah, bishop a5 again. Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a toss up, really. We're going to have a good look here to see what happens. I mean, knight c6 is again possible. Just threatening to hit this. Well, just hitting this bishop on e7. And of course, the idea would be that with a bishop on a5, you could take on e7 and go bishop b4. That could be a very unpleasant pin in actual fact. So if you did something like this, for example, I go bishop b4, rook c8, rook c1, b6, a5, which is just winning on the spot.
Yeah, that's nice, yeah.
So, I mean, this might be Daniel's idea. The only thing that, I'm not 100% sure about is whether... Well, what I wasn't sure about was whether you could just ignore it and whether that would be dangerous or not. Because
what, bishop f6 hitting f2, b2?
Yeah, I mean, the problem is if you go rook c1, I'll go knight a4 simply. And if you go rook c1, then I go bishop b2, which is kind of annoying. And I mean, I am actually simply threatening to go to castle. So, it's a little bit awkward. And if I play something like bishop b4, then I just go knight d7. This is the point. And well, oh, maybe no, I've got knight a5, which I hadn't really spotted. Knight a5, that might be. I mean, I can take on b2, but you'll have pressure. Okay, so maybe we can do this. Maybe this is the idea. Just go bishop b4 in this position. And now we need to find. Well, a good move would be quite nice. I mean, one thing we could do is to go knight takes a4.
Rook takes.
And bishop d7. So I go rook c1. And now I've got to be a bit careful because bishop c6 allows rook takes c6, takes. And yeah, you can't get out here, so you're losing a piece. But I think that what I can do after rook c1 is, I mean, actually, bishop b2 is definitely worth consideration, but I'm not quite sure about throwing it in. But I think I can just play rook c8 when you're pinned all over the place. So that's
so maybe this knight c6 doesn't exactly work.
It's possible. I'm not claiming that it's, but it's tight, right? Bishop b4. And then knight takes a4. The only question would be whether you could do something.
I suppose, yeah, you don't need to take that knight, do you? But what do you do?
Yeah, taking on b2. I don't really think you've got masses of pressure, really. So
no.
I mean, e4 to yeah. I don't know. It's starting to get a little bit beyond your capacity to calculate it accurately. Really, I would think that the black's actually doing all right here. I mean, there might be some sort of idea, like, for example, rook d1. That's the only other thing that I can really think of here. Just to make bishop b2, I'd have rook d8 checkmate. That's just the idea. But I don't know. I mean, I think you could consider. Well, if you go castles, I want to do something like bishop b4, and get something like this.
Yeah.
It might be irritating with the with the pawn on c6. So rook fd1, but I think I'm just going to do something like bishop d7, just chase that knight back. And I don't think that's not going to be anything anything special. So yeah, he's gone bishop b4. He's gone bishop b4, Daniel. So
I'm sure he's got this knight c6 idea in mind. He's kind of switched the way around.
Yeah. So yeah, in principle, I'm not a massive fan of that move, but it might be quite reasonable. So okay, let's what I would want to do is to go bishop d7.
Yeah.
I could also go. Problem is, white's threatening rook c1 there, so going to have a fair amount of pressure. I mean, yeah. I was just wondering whether I could play a move like a5, and just end up with a strong bishop on b4 like this. Not so clear, but I mean, you are going to do something like this simply. So the question is, how dangerous is this? Can I just get my pieces out of the attacks and then I'm just fine? I'm not sure. Not an easy decision. Not an easy decision for black to take. Let's play bishop d7, which would be the most natural move there. And now I've got a few choices. Bishop c5 is a simple choice, and I've also got ideas like rook c1. I guess maybe even a5. Let's have a look at bishop c5. So it takes knight b3. I mean, basically, I'm trying to win a pawn.
Yeah, and b7.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to e7, then this looks a little bit awkward. This one, because knight a5, bishop d8. But what I can do, I would imagine, is just to go knight a5 immediately.
Yeah.
And then if rook b8, then you can go knight b7.
Yeah.
But it's not 100% clear. I mean, I could just go bishop c8 here. And I can't get a rook to the third rank, rook a3 to b3 with a pin, but there's bishop takes a3. So, I mean, I guess that I would, then I'd need to do this really, which I would expect would be quite decent for black. So, I mean, I don't know whether there'd be a better square than e7, maybe even a7, maybe not. I'm not sure. But this is not it's not 100% clear, this one. So maybe after bishop d7, we can do something cleverer, sneakier. And go rook c1, maybe. So what are we going to do here? I mean, I suppose we could play a move like knight d3. That's possible. Or I could just grab this pawn and then just say, do your worst.
Right. So my worst then, bishop takes e7 and bishop takes b7.
Yeah, bishop b7. You could even play bishop b7 immediately, but I'm not sure that makes a difference. So chop chop. Bishop b7 you want?
Or you can do rook c7.
Rook c7 is also possible.
Threatening rook a4.
I mean, this is not clear at all. It's rather difficult to evaluate.
And this is my worst, remember?
Damn it. Yeah, this is rather difficult to evaluate. It's going to need some calculation, this one, because it might be quite good for white, or it just might not be anything special. I mean, I'm just thinking, for example, knight b6, bishop takes b7. Whoa. I mean, I could, you can you've got to start calculating moves like this where you throw in something to interfere with white's pieces. I would have thought that black would be okay, to be honest. I would have thought that black would be okay, but I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I could also throw in bishop b7 there as well.
Yeah.
Which is not too silly. Just so I don't know. Let's just say rook b8 for the sheer hell of it. And then I could go bishop takes e7 now.
And then there's a fork at the end.
Well, is there a fork? Well, how dangerous is the fork, do I mean, really? So king e7. I could go bishop c6. I could go rook c7 as well. Although maybe king d6 is annoying. I mean, I lose 2 pieces for the rook, but maybe... It's tough. It's tough, this one. It's quite complicated, but obviously not an easy decision for Connor to make. Yeah, intuitively, I would have thought that bishop d7 is what you want to do, but I'm not close yet to being comfortable that this is a good way of doing it. But yeah, probably bishop d7 is going to be the best. I mean, that's the move you really want to play. But again,
but it looked like white has quite a lot of possibilities, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely white's got the initiative here. Definitely, it's which is not too surprising when you look at the opening play. I mean, we've cleared this line for the bishop, and this one's just causing problems for the rest of the game. So let's have a look. Move on to Marcus Harvey against Tim Wall.
Yeah. Okay. So can Tim Wall keep up his form of yesterday?
Indeed.
Where he won against Daniel, and then who was it? David after that? Not David. No. I'll look it up. Daniel.
So it's this Leningrad Dutch.
And then Connor yesterday.
Queen e8 and d5 played, which is a bit of an old-fashioned line. But obviously,
I've had this position loads for black.
Damn it!
Yeah.
So this is a bit of an old-fashioned way of playing with d5, but in principle, nothing too wrong with it. Knight c5, b3. And we're just going to play bishop b2 and just be claim that we've got a slight advantage because of better space. But they're quite tricky, these Leningrad Dutch positions.
Because I've done it a different way with still with bishop d7, but with not putting the knight on c5 and just going to doing c6
and knight c7.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite possible as well. A little bit unusual, knight c5, knight e4 so early, to be honest. But yeah. I mean, the Dutch is always, the Leningrad Dutch, is always a little bit dodgy, but always plenty of counterplay there. So g5 played by Tim, and then knight ce2. This is quite a solid setup from Marcus. So when you play e3 and then you put the knight back to e2, you're just stopping black from playing f4. So making it a little tricky to get counterplay. And then a5 played to stop white from playing b4.
Yeah.
Queen c2, sensible move, defends bishop on b2, and queen g6. So yeah, this is where basically this is probably a good place for Marcus to have a little think and to try and work out what the next phase of attack is going to be. I mean, we've got a number of ideas. I mean, one thing that you do have to watch out for as black will be as white will be something like f4. So, for example, after a3, I don't know whether f4 is a possibility. It's got some tricks anyway to it because we can play this one. So if g6, I've got knight e2 check, which is rather irritating. Takes and takes, and well, you've weakened the b3 square, so this one's also going to be hanging. And if you go, I don't know, h takes g3, then we've got takes and bishop g7. So bishop b2 rather. So yeah, some possibilities there for for irritation. I don't know whether f4 is a totally good move, because you might be able to do other things as well for white. Although it does look a little bit awkward, but anyway, this whenever you see this sort of interposition of pieces, then you need to be aware that stuff might happen. I mean, one idea for white would be to play f4 yourself.
Yeah.
It gives away this e4 square, of course, but it does stop f4, and blocking the f pawn means that this light square bishop is rather passive. That's possible. I mean, you could also choose to play f3 and then f4, maybe now, maybe later. That's also possible. Other ideas that white's got. Well, I mean, a3 and b4 is something that you want. Just you've got to watch out for this f4 idea and see whether this is whether this is working or not, because obviously that makes a very big difference to any of white's play. Complicated position. I mean, I had this against, who did I have? I had something similar against Isaac Sanders in the 4 NCL, talented young English junior, and
Barbican player. Yeah.
Barbican player. I didn't have it easy at all, to be honest. It was a very complicated game until very late on. And, I did feel that I should be better in these sort of structures, but, proving it is quite tricky, especially in a practical game. So, yeah, it's quite a nice, unbalanced practical choice for black. I mean, you could play rook c1, for example, just to try and get everything safe on the king side. But, yeah, I mean, there's a few interesting things. I mean, for example, there's also, I've been doing this trick with knight g3, but you've also got to consider, ideas like this as well, like rook f4 followed by bishop h3. I mean, there's f3 in this case, but you've got to be careful. There's always a lot of things happening with the Leningrad Dutch. So complicated struggle. I imagine white's a little bit better. Maybe f3 is kind of necessary now, but yeah, black's not doing badly at all here. I'm waiting for a delivery of 32 bottles.
Lemonade's still not come yet.
No, so I got these yesterday. This was my orange jigger and also some elderflower lemonade. And I'm waiting for some rose lemonade and some real lemonade as well.
Mm.
And 4 packs of luxury biscuits as well. So from Fortnum's and Masons. So really looking forward to that. Just right, okay. So let's go on to Jonah Willow against Joseph McPhillips. And these guys are serious.
Serious?
There is no messing around here. No stupid openings. We are going for the engine's choice. Best play for white and black.
Oh, no, not Berlin.
The Berlin, and not the D4 lines, but the most symmetrical lines as well. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, this is actually, if you run the engines to any enormous depth, then this is the line that they see as best for white and black. This is best play from the starting position. So now I think
this is the answer to chess.
This is the answer to chess.
This is what you've got.
Which is actually, essentially a way of saying that the the starting position is just a draw, basically. I mean, yep. That's the basic thing that you can say about it.
No Berlin repetition, thankfully, says the organizer Loz.
Well, that is actually quite good news, isn't it? Really, it's. But here, Jonah plays something not optimal according to the engine.
Loz, if you, by the way, I know you said you were thinking of hopping onto the stream at some point. If you want to, just drop a note in the chat or whatever, and do hop straight on.
Indeed. So here, white plays something that, according to the engines, is not optimal. So c3 is the move that they.
Sorry.
They always want. And then this is a best play according to all the engines. Takes a 98, and then bishop f4 d5. I mean, it is a slight edge for white. Slightly better placed pieces. This bishop's a bit odd, and this knight tends to have a little bit of difficulty getting into the right place. But yeah, I mean, it's relatively minimal, and certainly for engines, it's 100 draws out of 100 all the time.
100 out of 100. That's a lot of draws.
Well, I mean, to be honest, if you put two strong engines in the starting position
Yeah.
and just let them play, then it's 100 draws out of 100. It's really,
Yeah.
I mean, the starting position is just very, very even.
Yeah.
I think in the future, if you want to sort of have games where you've got imbalance without doing anything crazy like an opening book or whatever, then double Fisher random is the way to go. But
What's double Fisher random?
that means that
you just play the same position both sides.
No, the white side and the black side are shuffled differently.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because Fisher random is that the white and the black pieces are shuffled in the same way.
Yes.
But even that is
it's a draw.
Yeah, it's drawn. it's too even. You need a mini little book on that to unbalance it. But double Fisher random has got huge amounts of unbalance. So you can actually that probably is the
that's pretty good, because then you're really not going to get people learning it all up, because I think even with Fisher random you'll get people learning it up.
You've got a decent chance of doing it if you're serious about it. It's the double Fisher random. That's 960 times 960. So I mean, it's that's impossible. But I think if you're looking at the future of chess, then that will probably be it sometime. It's not really this, I think. So I'm a bit surprised actually, because Joe's quite an all-in kind of character. So I wouldn't have thought that he would be playing the Berlin, to be honest. But
he just thinks it's the best.
Well, maybe yes, indeed. Rook e8. So yeah, I'm not. Rook e8 was played instead of c3. Now, I'm not sure what the theory is here. I've always fallen asleep before managing to learn it. I mean, to be honest, knight e8 feels more natural than queen e8 because after queen e8 we can go bishop f4 and the knight here, and there's the pawn behind. But we have knight f5, so counterattacking against the pawn on d4. And well, it's also a point about here. Could you maybe go d6, and the bishop doesn't have that many squares? Who knows? But after knight f5, knight c3 was played.
Yeah, Mary Hatman, I agree with you. But Fisher random chess is getting more popular, I think.
Oh, yeah, Fisher random is very nice, really. It is quite nice. You do have to say. But
and anyone playing in the Mind Sports Olympiad, of course. There's a special Fisher random tournament, so you can
indeed
play your normal chess and then play your Fisher random, and then there's all the other types of chess as well. So if you like that sort of thing, then join there.
Exactly. So knight c3 played, and yeah, the d4 pawn probably still not really capturable because of knight d5. So black plays d6. Yeah, I do have to say it's slightly. I'm not 100% sure about the way black's handled this. This looks a little bit like you're going to end up with a slight disadvantage, I think. Knight d5, hitting the bishop on f6, so bishop d8 defends.
You can't get like norms or titles, can you, at the moment for Fisher random, or can you?
No, it just hasn't taken off at all. I mean, there's they mooted a world championship at some stage, but it never really took place. There might be a world championship this year. There was something about it, but again, it's just an invitational tournament where they've invited the 10 best standard players.
You should just start with like a blitz, not like 5 minute or 3 minute or some kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you do that in a day or two and just have a huge open and or whatever, however you want to do it. But
yeah, I mean, light chess has masses of arenas for chess 960, so they do their normal stuff. But yeah, I mean, a proper event, Fisher random would be really cool, I think. But but somehow it hasn't taken off, and the only thing you've had really are invitational events like St. Louis or they're proposing to do to call it the World Championship. But I mean, if
I think the Mind Sports calls it the World Championship as well, so we've probably got several world champions.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's yeah, no, it's a shame. It's a shame. I think it's definitely it is a nice form of the game, and there's quite a bit. And I have to say
but
the
Loz
game
could arrange. Loz could be the trailblazer here. He could arrange a all play all or a tournament, like when you play your afternoon tournament, Loz. You could do 960, and then we could get I'm saying Loz, but we could, like the English Chess Federation could easily do an English champion for. I'm just thinking out loud here, which is probably a very bad idea, but could easily do an English 960 champion.
Sounds like new policy to me. It's,
new policy being made as we speak. Yeah.
It's yeah, no, I mean, obviously, I think there's quite a bit of work to be done at the grassroots to make people, enthusiastic for it, and because of course, we talk about the Berlin and everything like this, but it's only a problem at the elite level. I mean, it's not really a problem at any other, at the normal club level. I mean, I don't think normal club players have problems with, chess is a draw and we can't. We can't do anything with it. It's only at the elite level that these problems are there. So, I think that's why. But I think it was, I do think it's a very interesting form of chess, and there's certainly a lot of content to it. And to be honest, I mean, they've had at the TCC, so the engine competition, they've had a Fischer Random. Now they're doing the 5th one at the moment, and some of the games are just amazing. What the engines managed to do with the weird positions of the pieces to make them active, to make them, bishops pop out from nowhere, and wing pawn thrusts and all that sort of stuff. It's pawn sacks. It's amazing. It really is incredible. Yeah. So I'm quite keen.
The MSO one is the British Championship. There you go. Okay, cool. Well, there you go. So August, you can become the British champion, and then the no reason why the ECF can't arrange it, but I reckon the ACF could arrange. Anyway, okay, I'll stop now.
It's so Queen D2 anyway. Back to the Berlin.
Back to the Berlin, indeed.
Queen F8, C4. So yeah, I mean, basically, in this position, we've got some sort of. It's a bit like a Petrov, isn't it? Really, where White's got a bit more space, Black's a little bit constricted, but nothing terrible is happening yet. But yeah, again, if you're facing Magnus Carlsen as Black in this type of position, it's not a complete joy. This one. This certainly isn't the best type of Berlin that I've ever seen in this line. So A3 played by Jonah. Not 100% sure why, particularly that one. Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of moves you can play. I mean, there's moves like G3. There's moves like H3. B4. Maybe A3 prepares B4. You can just in the next few moves, you could just try and gain some space, and then
hi, Blue Grey Haze.
Could just try and gain some space, and then we're going to see what life brings. It's but definitely White's for choice here. So yeah, we'll work out how that goes. This one's quite interesting, actually. I think, I quite like White's position here. So D4, E6, Knight F3, Knight F6, and Ravi Haria also playing the engine choice, the Ragozin.
The Ragozin, yes.
Ragozin. It's the
solid opening of the day.
It's the most,
not the solid opening of the day, but the second most solid opening of the day.
Indeed. But this is what Alpha Zero was always choosing with against 1D4, and I mean, a lot of the games that Alpha Zero and Stockfish 8 fought out have just become the mainline theory really in this line. So it's so Queen A4 played by White, which is probably the most. I mean, C takes D5 is possible. Bishop G5 is probably the main line, but to be honest, doesn't lead to that much. This is has been the most interesting and aggressive way of playing against the Ragozin. I mean, Queen A4 check forces the knight onto C6, so you can't go C5 anymore. So that at least stops, immediate liquidation of the center. And then castles, then we come back to C2. And, the queen's moved to C2 in 2 moves. But it's brought the knight to C6, which is, mixed bag, whether that's good development or not. So B6 played, Bishop D2, Bishop B7, A3, Bishop B6. Also consider taking on c3, but this is also quite decent. Black sort of teeing up for something like dc and e5 here. So white plays cd just to fix the center, and bishop d3, e6 castles. And yeah, I mean, these structures are quite, in principle, black's not doing badly at all. But you do have to watch out for, e4 possibilities. And this knight on c6 is a little bit odd in front of the c pawn. And also, I mean, it would normally just be on d7, basically.
It could go round, couldn't it? Around like...
Yeah, it can come around to,
that way.
come around to g6. That's a pretty normal way of playing there. So got quite interesting now, because knight e7 played, b4, knight g6, and now this move b5 from Sadler, which is quite interesting. The idea is that well, you play the pawn to b5, and it fixes the c pawn, so the c pawn can't move very easily. And the idea is that a b5, we go knight b5, and you're going to pick up the dark square bishop because it can't move away because c7 is hanging. So queen e7 played by Ravi. I mean, I was sort of expecting a4, to be honest, just to make sure that you can take it back with the pawn on b5. In principle, that is a decent achievement. But actually, yeah, I mean, what Zala plays is more aggressive, and it's not silly at all. So the queen is a knight attacking d5, so black can't play this move knight e4 because of knight takes d5. Well, I'm saying can't play. It's always slightly risky. It's always risky. But I mean, we're threatening ba6 and knight d5, so we definitely got pressure against the d5 pawn. So Ravi took on b5, knight takes b5, c5, knight d6, and then rook b1. So not seeing ghosts here. c4, we go queen b6. And then knight d7 and bishop f5. And White's actually played this very nicely, I have to say, and got quite nice pressure against the black queen side here. And
so that's just bishop takes knight.
Yeah, just bishop takes c7. I mean, and you can't even defend the pawn on b6 because I'll just chop and chop here, and this guy's hanging. So I mean, I think it might well be this is just what Ravi does is maybe a bit of a just a sort of a what can you say? I'll have to do this because after bishop c6, White can actually just play bishop d7 now.
Yep.
And if queen d7, then queen b6, and you're just going to be a pawn up. Opposite colored bishops, of course, but yeah, but there's nothing wrong with the white position. So actually, I think that that Ravi's probably in trouble here.
Yeah, because it's not clear how Ravi can get an interesting position out of it as well.
No, I mean, after bishop d7, I think you have to take with a queen because takes here forces the exchange of queens. And I mean, yeah, this is not nice to defend. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I mean, we've got good possibilities for defending the pawn. Rooks are on the board. I mean, it's just not what you want to be spending your
he might draw this, but it's not.
It's not going to be
dynamic
pleasant.
Position with winning chances. It
appears. And I mean, you can do this, of course. Maybe you go c4 or something.
Yeah. That must be the way it's going to.
But I think that's probably the best way to play it. But I mean, White's just White.
That's
just
at least a pass pawn, isn't it?
Yeah, White's a lot better. Simply, I mean. Yeah, probably, in computer terms, 0.8, 0.9 or something like that. So not going to be easy to advance the pawn.
You're still talking in pawns. What about percentages?
Oh, good Lord, that's much tougher. It's so I mean, this is a very nice play from White. Not going to be easy to put this away against the top seed, but definitely nice chances for White here. We'll just have to try and work out how to how to make the most of the advantage there.
So White trying to win it, just trying to do this a pawn.
Well, you can't really advance it. I think you're going to have to regroup your pieces a bit, and find some sort of spot for this bishop. Not easy. Not.
Because you could like go h4, couldn't you?
Oh, that would weaken the king side a lot. I mean, our light squares are. We don't want to weaken our light squares, I don't think, anymore on the king side without the light square bishop. I think we need to.
So Ravi could think about trying to do play on the king side.
Yeah, he's going to do that. I mean, either this is coming or maybe f5 to f4. I would have thought. You just need to stabilize this queenside situation because it's rather annoying with the queen and the rook here.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't offer the you can't fight for the b file. So
yeah, because you'd want to do rook a6, wouldn't you? Which obviously you can't do, but and then swing that across if you're doing kingside stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if you're thinking about places for the knight, I mean, c3 would be a great spot for the knight. I mean, to be honest, if I wanted my pieces somewhere, I'd have the knight on c3 and the bishop on g3. That's what I'd want. So I don't know whether we can, whether we can do something to achieve that. I mean, we could definitely make a start.
That's a dream.
I mean, king h1 would be of course, the brilliant idea to do that. Yeah, I don't know whether it's too slow, but yeah, I mean, we need to. The white pieces are not ideally placed, I think, just at the current moment. So we need to do some work on that. So and just need to watch out that you don't get hit on your kingside light squares. Maybe this is not. This is maybe not.
Maybe it's not so bad for Ravi.
It's not terrible. No. I think it's. I probably was overestimating it there, but it's not. It's not great. I mean, you wouldn't have chosen to do this basically.
Yeah.
And there is the potential that that if you do get your pieces onto great squares, then black's going to have nothing to do. Will only be able to wait. So. Yeah. Queen d7 played by Ravi. Yeah, it's the best move. But he's defended quite well there. I think he's got it into something that at least is offers reasonable defensive chances there. Oh,
what's that? Oh
no, I think this is the chess 24 glitch where it sort of announces 1-0 when it isn't. I've seen this before.
Yeah.
So yeah. That would be a little bit surprising. Wow. Okay. Oh, right. I was wondering how this was going to happen. So this is quite interesting. This is Natasha. I think this is going to warm the cockles of your heart.
Oh, good. Okay. What do we got? Alekines. Okay, let's do it.
So took with the old c pawn, which is thought to be a little bit dodgy, but hey, it's the Alekin. So knight c3. G6, bishop e3. This is the as far as I'm aware,
the thingy, Virenage. It's called, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
The Virenage.
This is supposed to be.
I stopped playing c takes just because of this line. I play e takes more.
Yeah, I mean, David makes a decent case for it. Really, he goes d5, c5, and now knight c6.
Oh, right. What's happening now?
Which I am actually I'm just going to check on my computer because is this normal?
There are definitely p-sack lines in this thing, but
yeah, I know there are p-sack lines.
I don't know about this one though.
This one seems a little bit excessive, really. But
she doesn't take it either. Why don't you take?
Well, you're the Alekin expert. You tell me.
Well, I would take for white. C takes b6 looks like the move. But you go e5, of course. Do you e5? E5 to try and take back on d4.
Now, knight c6 is mainline theory, so it's been played a number of times. Yeah. So the idea is that if c takes b6, we play e5.
Yeah,
and we're going to claim that that there's compensation. Good Lord! Well. How's Black been doing? Black's been doing fairly well with some decent rated games there. So
Mary Hatman also goes e takes d6. Yeah.
Golly. Okay. So there we are. So Ketty played actually another move, a main move. That's bishop b5.
Yeah.
Knight. So basically trying to reduce black's pressure against d4 by taking on c6. So knight d7 played, and now knight f3, and black plays e5. So this is really on the edge. D5 pawn is left on pre. So of course, probably the opening of the center would be good there. So castles played by Ketty. E4, knight g5, knight f6, and you've got to say that actually black's position looks pretty good. Nothing wrong with it, really.
Yeah, so, I mean, I kind of think, well, why I didn't do these kind of lines is because of I thought the piece sacked wasn't good and wasn't convincing enough. But that was a long time ago when I made that decision.
Yeah, I mean, this particular way of sacking the piece is fairly recent. There's a lot of games in 2021, 2022 with that.
But it's doing well, is it?
It's doing quite well, yeah. I think probably, what are the stats? 50%. Looks like
good.
Actually.
That's good.
And decent players, sort of IM against GM, that sort of thing. So yeah.
Okay, so C takes D6. C takes is back.
It's back and great against that system. So yeah, Ketty played bishop e2 just to stop knight g4, and actually more or less, you're more or less forced to play this. And then bishop h3 takes and queen d7. Yeah, quite tough, really.
Yeah.
So king g2.
These two players, they're both doing very well in the tournament, aren't they? They're like two of the.
They certainly are. The one thing is that I think if you're having a look at the time spent, then you can see that Ketty's got 7 minutes left, and David's got 1 hour and 3 left. So,
oh my goodness! So was she spending time on whether to take that sacrifice or not?
Yeah. Look, knight c6, 8 minutes spent on bishop b5, then 14 on castles, 15 on knight g5, and 21 on bishop e2. So yeah, obviously it came as a pretty big shock to Ketty.
So presumably David doesn't normally do this stuff then.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see any games of his with it, but
yeah,
I can look a little bit.
Opening.
Look a little bit.
David published a video on the video course on the Alekhine. It says,
"Oh, really?
E22 C3 Sicilian."
Ah, well,
he should have known. He's played the bishop c6 piece sack before.
Oh, really?
I'm sure he has. Yeah.
I don't have any games in the database from him, but I mean, obviously, it could also be played at a weekend tournament or
what's his course, Paul?
Oh yeah, Fitzsimmons. Jones against Fitzsimmons. I can see. Oh yeah, he has played this sack before.
He played it against Gawain.
No, Stephen Jones.
That's Stephen Jones.
But this is the point. Maybe Ketty did know this actually, because after knight f3, David played a6 against Stephen Jones.
Okay.
And actually caught him with this trick here in d4.
Oh, nice, right.
But presumably Ketty was planning to.
Forgot what to play in the Jones game.
Well, maybe bishop c6 was what Ketty was going to play. But e5, e5 is a new move from is a new move in actual fact.
Oh. He confused the knight df3 and knight e2 lines in that game against Jones.
Ah, okay.
He still won though, did he?
He still won, yeah. He still won.
That's good Lord! Well, 50% stats.
It just goes to show that that looking at people's.
He was staying with you, B22, and he got confused. Oh, so have you got a link to the course? I want to see it.
If you just search Fitzsimmons, you'll find it. So anyway, knight e7 played, and black's just aiming for knight f5 to h4. I mean, from the Alekhines, I mean, this is a dream position. So Ketty actually just gives up the pawn. Doubles up the G file on the G file instead. And
Okay,
this,
but wait, it's not breaking through on the G file, is she?
not in any remote way, no.
But she can take on H6.
Yeah, but it's Black's move.
I know, but she just played Rook G.
Yeah, I know, but Bishop H6 allows Knight F5.
Oh, this thing. Okay.
And then Bishop G7, we've got Knight G3 check, and then King G7 after. So
thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, King H7 is one idea, for example. That's quite safe. Yeah, I mean, the pressure on the G file makes it. Black's going to have to maybe maneuver the pieces around a little bit to be able to do something. I mean, the natural place for Black to expand is on the king side, F5 and G5 and that sort of thing. But obviously, a little bit tough if White's got that much firepower pointing towards it. And meanwhile, well, I guess if White's going to do anything positive, it's maybe move the queen side pawns up. But I mean, it's not winning for Black yet, I don't think. But it's definitely very, very pleasant, And
nice.
Yeah, you've got also definitely. I think some consolidating moves, and then maybe just trying to get these pawns moving will be quite good for Black. So excellent preparation from David. Let's go back to this game. We left it at Bishop B4. Connor did play Bishop D7.
Oh, yes.
And then A5 played by Daniel. So, not wanting to get into any of the complications, just playing A5. Rook B8 by Connor to defend the pawn on B7. Rook C1. And now Knight D3 played by Connor. We pointed out this possibility earlier. So it would be so nice if you could take and go Bishop D6. But, well, I mean, it's not 100% clear, this one. Rook C8, Bishop B7, is a conceivable idea. You go Rook C4. And then I'd really want something clever, but I'm just want to claim that I'm going to be winning this back. I mean, maybe I could just play E3. How would that be?
So it's exchange.
It's the exchange. What I'm claiming is that I'm going to get the pawn on A6, which will make life awkward for you. But I don't. I don't know. It's maybe a little bit cheesy, maybe, because your rook on A1 is a little bit trapped. But definitely was interesting in any case. But I mean, Black certainly has to calculate it. But E takes D3, Bishop B4 played, and now White can play Knight takes B3, or the most natural would be to play Rook C7.
Yeah.
And now, oh, pardon me, sorry. Did a park run this morning. I'm a little bit tired. Did a nice one. It was a new one, Moat Park. So, which is a lovely park.
Where?
Moat Park, very close to where we live. But it's a brand new one. Only the 5th park run that they've been doing there. So it was a bit tough. It was some of them you've got hills, and there's one hill, and that's the one you have to do, and then that's fine. But this one was undulating all the way, so every time you thought you got past the hills, another one came and hit you. So it was I found it really tough, I have to say. But let's have a look. So Rook C7. What are we going to do about that, Natasha?
Okay, for Black, we are going to we're just going to be calm. We're going to drop our bishop back to D6, force the rook out, and then we're going to short castles.
All right. So.
Oh. Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
It's not totally clear, but I'm a bit nervous about losing this b pawn.
Yeah.
What I was thinking of was actually after.
Oh, hang on. What about bishop e5 then?
Yeah, I mean, I could then take on
Oh,
b8.
you're just gonna, yeah. Right.
And then take on b3. The question with all these things is how bad is it? Is it,
Yeah.
is it like, is there compensation, or is there? I'm not yet quite at that stage. I'm just wondering whether we could just make it a little bit better. What I could try is to go king e7. So if bishop b7, I'll go king d6. Then rook c1, bishop a5, which doesn't look bad at all. That looks quite good. So, pardon me. Rook b7, for example.
Yeah.
Chop, chop.
Yeah.
And now, what I was wondering about was to go rook b8.
Bishop a6.
Yeah, and now we've got a couple of possibilities here. I mean, I could go rook a8 and claim that this position, like this, something like this, is going to be decent for black with two bishops. I think that's a reasonable claim, to say
decent
that.
As in we're going to get the b pawn back and then we'll be better.
No, decent in the
Decent
sense that you're not going to. You're probably going to make a draw with this.
Yeah.
I just wonder, is there something, because it just feels, obviously it feels a bit inefficient to go rook b8 to a8. So you sort of think, is there a move that I could play that might be more useful than that? But I mean, I was wondering about just playing e5 here.
Okay, knight takes b3.
Yeah, and then bishop b5. So I'm not going to lose my my a pawn.
Yeah.
I'm going to play king d6, rook b8. Yeah, it's yeah, not sure. I think, yeah, should probably give you some sort of draw somewhere. I mean, I don't know actually whether no, that's going to be too risky. I don't know whether we can do this a bit. I want to try and be cleverer somehow, but I can't seem to find a way. Yeah, I mean, I get the feeling that something like this, just give up the pawn, get the two bishops, give white a broken structure, and then just claim the draw.
Liquidate it all, and
yeah, that would be reasonably sensible. I mean, the other white possibility would be to play something like knight b3. Maybe looking for knight c5, maybe looking for rook c7. I could imagine that I could play maybe something like this. Maybe. Well, I don't know. Could this be annoying? Rook to c1 looks a little bit better for white. Do we have anything cleverer? I mean, I could go bishop b5. We do have bishop b7 then. So obviously this takes rook c8 check. But again, whether if you go castles or something like that, maybe you're just going to be okay there. Take the d3 pawn. It's not easy. It's not easy. But I would have thought that rook c7 for white would really be the move that you want to play. And yeah, after that we'll see what life brings. But I think, yeah, you kind of feel that black's looking more at something like being a pawn down but surviving.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me. I think we ignore 1-0 here.
Ignore the result because they're still playing more moves.
Yeah. So, A3 played.
Yeah.
So Marcus was not afraid of F4. So maybe he had something against that. I mean, it could well be that the B4 was what he wanted to do there.
Yeah.
Not completely impossible. Just knocking away the bishop, and we're claiming that we're saying that none of these moves are any good. It's quite sharp. Quite sharp. Wouldn't necessarily feel 100% confident, but I think if bishop A4, which I was actually wondering about, probably you could play bishop takes E4 here, which would be annoying. Oh, I don't know, queen E4 there. That would be fine. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, F4 was really interesting, but yeah.
So Tim did not play F4.
No, he played E5 in actual fact, which is quite a typical move. Although, yeah, I've always quite enjoyed these structures with for white, really. But he took back with a bishop. Knight might have been possible, but you would fail to knight takes F5, unfortunately.
Oh, and E4.
F5, bishop E4. So you're forced to take back with a bishop, and now, F3 has been played. I don't think the C5 move of Tim's was really the proper way to go, to be honest. I think this is, or maybe Tim missed knight E6, knight F5. I'm not sure, but this looks a little bit awkward.
Where's this knight going? Back to F6.
Where's the knight going? Where's the knight going? But actually, aren't we just winning a piece here with B4?
Oh dear. B4.
Yeah.
All right, try go back a move then.
I have a bad feeling that the E5 was just a big blunder.
Okay. So if we drop the knight back, we're losing a piece for black.
Sí, señora.
So we better not do that then. We better find something else to do.
So far, your logic is impeccable.
Yeah. So Marcus won.
Marcus won. Oh, did Tim resign?
Okay. Yeah, Loz will know. I think there is a result. Clock will not take on chess anymore. So that he resigned. He resigned because of this piece loss, I guess.
Oh, hard luck, Tim.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think that F4 was well. I mean, that was very unclear anyway. I mean, that would have been an interesting possibility. But yeah, E5. Yeah, just too many pieces hanging everywhere. Hard luck, Tim, but still 2 out of 4 and played a lot of the strong players. So still in decent shape there for an IM norm. Whoa!
Okay, what's happened to this Berlin?
Wait a minute. Why isn't C5 just winning?
Why isn't C5 just winning is the first question. You can do like, let's see it.
Por favor, señora. This is just horrific.
Okay, so we have to. The only move where we're. Oh no! Even if you attack the queen,
I take on F7 then.
You still take on. Yeah, you still take. Okay.
It's completely lost this.
There's nothing at all to do.
Yeah. The Berlin beaten in 26 moves.
Well, should we see how we did that then?
Only Loz can do this.
Because we were both saying it was just a forced draw.
No, we didn't say. We said not this position. We said that in principle it is, but this one we thought the white was slightly better. But Oh, 97, knight f6.
Knight
Wow,
f6.
the Roonies.
Knight f6.
Oh, that is beautiful. Beautiful. Oh.
Jonah Willow. But
Because
even how does... So wait, so sorry. Go on then. Just show me.
bishop h6.
Yeah. Queen e8.
Queen e8. And now you just play queen
Just
f4.
Queen f4, right.
And wow, that was beautifully spotted. So, I mean, the problem is, yeah, I mean, all these pieces are horrific. So, I'm just running, well, either queen f6 or queen g3 check, and you can't play knight g6 because your queen is hanging.
Yeah.
So the only possible move you could have would be bishop e6,
Yeah.
and then I go queen f6. You go knight f5 to cover the mate, and then I go queen f5 because after bishop f5.
Oh dear. Yeah. Gosh.
Knight f6. What a move. Well, Joseph gave up the piece, hoping to trap that one back. I mean, white can win a pawn in many different ways, and chose knight b6, bishop b6. We've just got two bishops and better position. And then queen f4, knight g6 played, but then queen f5 from Jonah. The tactics
Back rank mate threats.
Indeed. Queen takes c6. Oh, look what Jonah did. I said c5 was winning, which is true, but Jonah played queen d7. Really going for the gold coins there. So, yeah, very nice. c5 was also just completely winning. But what queen d7 does stop, it stops the resource takes queen h2 check and bishop c7 check, which was possible.
But even that, you drop the rook back into interpose.
Well, yeah, or you might go f6 then. But I mean, I can go king there and queen f7. I mean, it's just completely winning. But queen d7 is very nice. Ace 1-0 takes. And, black looks like black's resigned. I mean, queen b6 is carnage. So, wow, Jonah Willow, gorgeous tactics there. And beating a Berlin in 27 moves, we are happy with that.
Well played, Jonah.
Well played, Jonah. Gorgeous tactics. So, what have we got? Queen b6, c4, bishop c3. Zala choosing not to play my move, king h1. So, bishop c3, h3, and queen b2. Yeah. To be honest, I'd see my engines drawing this an awful lot with black. But knight e7. Oh, okay, that's possible. Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, you've got. I think you've got to watch out a little bit with white because there is potential for this to go wrong. I mean, black can start playing g5, h5, and g4 now. He's got this hook on h3 to attack, and it could be a very quick attack if it goes wrong. So, I think white needed to sort of get possibilities of playing e4 or breaking or something. You haven't got all of the time in the world. Could still see some twists and turns this game, I think. But knight d2's a decent idea. But I wouldn't be surprised to see moves like g5 or whatever, and knight f5 coming in. And got to watch out with your light squares because they're not completely invulnerable.
Yep.
And finally, so rook
c1. Let's see.
Okay, so David's actually. I said we needed a few consolidating moves, and this is what David has done. Actually, this is actually very nice what he's done. So king h7, knight g8 to e7. The knight can come round to c6. That's possible. The knight is also defending g6, which means that f5 to f4 will also be possible. So I think David's playing this very nicely. Now, Ketty is not going to give up without a fight, and knight f4 is a possibility now. So you may be looking for knight f4 takes h5, for example. Yeah, there's going to be tactics. There's going to be tactics all the way here. Wondering what
black should do. Should you take on e3 and then put your other knight in?
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about my king side then. I mean, I could take on e3 and go bishop h6. That's actually a very, a reasonably sensible way to do this. And you're ready to take on f4 if the knight goes to f4. And otherwise, you're ready to start advancing your pawns. That's maybe sensible, though obviously feels a little bit committal. But I don't think you can play completely safe. It's not really that type of position. Got to watch out because there are going to be some piece sack ideas coming in, and they're not 100% easy to calculate.
And Ketty's a great attacker, so
Ketty's a nice attacker.
very
Yeah,
dangerous.
it's not. You don't want to give her these initiatives. From that point of view, I quite like that idea. That feels like something safe-ish. Still fighting this game. But in very good preparation from David, it's got him to an extra pawn and
an extra 40 minutes on the clock.
An extra 40 minutes on the clock. So obviously, we'll be very happy with that. But yeah, that's what always happens when you play strong players. They don't. You can get so far with them, but they don't collapse. You still got to find ways to get past their resistance. And well, I think this resistance is going to be pretty fierce from Ketty. So. We'll have a look. What has happened here? So rook c7 played. Oh, yeah, and now e5.
Okay.
So this was definitely another possibility. We looked at it, knight b3. And then I imagine that Connor's idea now is to play... actually, is to play bishop b5. That was my feeling, that he'd be aiming for that. Hitting this pawn on d3.
Yeah. So white can take on b7 with the bishop.
Yeah, you can do that. And then probably I'll go castle. Well, no. Yeah, probably after that I'll go castles, I think.
Okay.
I'm threatening bishop d6. That's the idea.
So we better move the bishop back out again.
Yeah, maybe to e4 is possible.
Yeah.
And then... Yeah. Not 100% sure. f5, rook d8. It's a little bit uncomfortable, though. It's not... you're not close to equality yet. I'm not sure, yeah. I mean, in some ways, you're keeping material equality now. But on the other hand, yeah, not easy. It's maybe you've got some ideas. I mean, could you go b6 here? It's a possibility. It feels very, very, very ropey to me, but it could be a possibility.
Then
you're always going to be losing a pawn, though. I mean, that's the you're never going to manage not to lose a pawn in these positions. So it's kind of trying to decide the best way to do it. I mean, here, for example, I could go rook b7 and then take, and I'd win the a pawn. Again, two bishops, broken pawn structure, maybe not so bad for black. But I preferred what I was doing really than this. This feels a little bit more. This feels more risky, really. It feels like you could, like something could go wrong somewhere. And after b6, I mean, you're not actually threatening yet to castle. So yeah, maybe I could do something like d4, for example, just open things up and annoy you.
Yeah.
He's gone bishop d6, Connor.
Oh, bishop d6.
Yeah, that's possible.
We talked about that, but in a different.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I mean, rook b7, I guess, is going to be played. And then we've got a couple of ideas. I mean, king e7 is a possibility. So obviously you're pinned on you're pinned there on the b file. I'm putting rook b7 and rook b8. That's the idea.
So what about knight? If we put the knight round to get to c4, like knight d2.
Beautiful positional play. He's taking e7 indeed. So knight d2. Yeah, this is the slight problemo. And now la question is, how do we do this? I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. How would we do this? I mean, because you know, this is the most obvious in a way, to go rook there and here. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just looks like an extra pawn for white, really.
Yeah.
With a nice a pawn. So, I mean, I could take and go bishop b5, but I feel like I've lost a couple of tempi somehow. I mean, it might still be okay, but it's probably still okay, this one. Maybe I go rook b8 or something like that, or even bishop c7 maybe. Possible. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. It's just, yeah, just feels it's risky. You know, I mean, you miss something and it just ends up really biting you. So I'm not.
Morning, Zoram, or afternoon already. Afternoon, Zoram.
So yeah, risky. I'm going to get a little drink, by the way. So
Yes.
I've got more lemonade to come. So
okay. Well, I might nip to the loo, so it'll be just kind of 1 minute and back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That is great.
Okay. See you in a second.
Right, fortified by lemonade again. Not bad. Let me just, I'll just switch that off and have a look at this. So, e4 played. That will either work out well or it will work out very, very badly. I mean, there's quite a few tactics already. That looks really risky. All right, let's just...
it's all happened.
Well, yeah, Zala played e3 to e4 there, which was a possibility, but I thought that it was actually a bit too risky, really, to do it. But okay, I mean, it's been played, so let's have a look. So after d takes e4, I guess knight takes c4.
Yeah. So Ravi was basically a pawn down, and what we thought was his best chance was kind of counter-attack on the king side, making use of weak light
Indeed.
squares.
Indeed. We got e4 takes, knight takes. What I hadn't thoroughly appreciated was that we do actually have one big threat as white
E3 and
rather.
queen d5, or queen d5, like a mate on g2 sort of thing.
Yeah, we got knight b6 from black, so that's actually a little bit more serious than I'd realised. Also, a little bit more difficult to stop than I'd realised. But
wait a minute.
Just hold it right there.
Right there. Like knight h4 or something like that.
Well.
Except the queen's on prise as well with this b6 thing. That's
all right. We'll go knight b6. So this looks like very much not my pieces.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, only because it's not my pieces.
No, I mean, there's definite. This is rather risky, but actually, Ravi hasn't. He's played knight h4, which is probably much cleverer in actual fact.
That's what I said. Oh, that's then move out later though.
Yeah. No, but this is much cleverer because, you're not giving white, because this counterplay with knight b6 is quite annoying. Because also the when the knight gets to b6, it also stops the queen coming to d5. So it's. But this is much cleverer, because if you go ed5, queen d5, then I have the bad feeling this is going a bit wrong for going to start going a bit wrong for white. Maybe being too pessimistic. I mean, maybe we go f3, but I think maybe I go queen f7. Just come around here. Yeah, you got some defending to do with white anyway, which I'm not sure really was what you wanted. But and it's quite unclear, this game, I think now. And black did play what we said: bishop h6, rook f2. Quite, I think that was quite sensible to do. And now black's will decide again what you want to play here. And I suppose the question is, could you play g5 here? That's the move I really want to play.
Oh, because if knight f5, you're going to go knight f4. Is that's the thing, isn't it?
Well, I just like the idea of restricting this guy. I just want to play f5 afterwards.
Zoram, I've got stacks of new chess books. I've got really loads, but I haven't read them. That's my problem at the moment, is I kind of buy them, and I've got a few on my list now to read.
Really?
Like I've got Danny Gormali's one about the pandemic and Carl's, and but then also some opening books as well, which I probably won't name all the opening books. Thank you for the follow, Jan42.
However, this is getting a bit. There's a little tactical point here. Oh, is that? I thought that you should play knight g3 here.
Oh, has this all been played then? G5's happened.
Yeah. I thought that knight g3 was the move you needed to play, because so you're attacking h5.
Yeah.
If you go h4, then I go knight f5.
Takes.
And then bishop g4.
Oh, clever.
And then the big point is that we go check, takes, hg, bishop e6, gf, and then we've got this intermediate move, bishop f5 check, which is very important.
Good day, Jan42.
And then queen f2, and then this would be decent for white, of course. So I think knight g3 was actually quite okay for. I mean, I was wondering whether.
I've got to now show some chess books, but I'll stop doing that in a minute.
You've got to prove it, have you now, Natasha?
I've got to prove it. Look, there you go. There's Pandemic Shock.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
There's She Plays to Win by Lauren de
Oh yeah, I've read that one.
And Jen Charday's Chess Queens.
Reviewed that one.
There you go. And one more. Winning.
Reviewed that one too. Yeah, I think this was actually quite a clever little idea. I think. I mean, I was wondering whether after knight g3, whether you shouldn't go h4, whether you should just play f5, and I mean that might have been better. You know, you take maybe here or something, and then we're probably forcing in f4. But getting quite sharp. But Ketty's gone the other way, so gone for knight b5.
Thanks for the follow, Survivor Vorsa.
This is getting quite sharp. Ketty's trying to come around the other way with knight d6. I mean, I really do like the idea of.
So yeah, so black's gonna. I think what target on e3.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of
threatening knight c7, of course.
I'm sort of thinking about playing a move like rook d8, for example. I mean, knight a7, queen a6 picks up the knight, so that's quite useful. And if you go knight d6, I'm actually feeling like I just want to take this off, actually. And then just play f5 and f4 and claim that that I'm better. Whether that claim is correct, that is the question. But you've got a good chance of it being correct, to be honest. It does look like an edge for black. I mean, I suppose I could also.
Nigel was talking about all these follow-on books from winning, and then he was coming up with crazier and crazier names. I can't even repeat some of them on the stream of what names he was coming up with after winning.
Yeah, there were a lot of people who were trolling Nigel by saying that losing was the one they were really looking forward to. But
that wasn't one of the ones he was suggesting at
all.
all.
I didn't think it was one of the ones. So yeah, so I mean, this exchange sacrifice is a possibility, though it's not clear in any way. Just trying to think. I mean, I could go queen d7 here. So knight d6. And now I could play f5. I'm just not very happy about leaving a knight on d6, to be honest. And I'm even a little bit worried about a few of the... well, sacks are not really that worrying for now.
Because black's king's now looking more open than white's, isn't it?
Black's king's looking a little open indeed. I mean, we're going to start looking at moves like queen e2, for example, and queen h5 as well. I don't like having this knight on d6, I have to say. I think I would go for rook d8, you know, and just sacrifice the exchange like that. And so I've got two pawns, a kingside pawn roller, which will become dangerous, and I'm gonna stick with that. But yeah, no, quite very. I mean, as always, very resourceful from. Oh, okay. So David's played queen g6.
Okay, gets it out of the fork anyway.
That is,
but it's in a pin now, isn't it? With the rook on.
Yeah, it's not the best place. Doesn't feel like the best place for the queen. That one really. I mean, I think Ketty can just play knight d6.
Yeah.
And
he's trying f5.
Yeah. I mean, we could go knight b7 and just say fair enough. Because now the queen's pinned against the rook on g1.
Yeah.
Not clear. Not clear by any means. Still some thrills to come, I think, in this game. Let's have a look at what Connor's done. He has gone bishop b5. And now I'm expecting knight c4. Yeah, I mean, I think probably if you saw Kramnik against Carlsen or something like this, you would expect this to be a draw at the end. You know, it's one of those things. but probably going to be a little bit of pain still to make it all happen. I mean, one thing. I mean, if I go knight c4, I can go rook b8 even. And the idea is that something like bishop here, I just take and go rook b2, and then go bishop c5. I've got pressure counterattack here, and also the bishop can cover on a7, so that's going pretty well.
This looks kind of fine for black, doesn't it?
Does look kind of fine. So I mean, maybe you should take on d6, takes, and play bishop e4. But I can go g6.
Maybe,
these pawns are a little bit weak. I'd expect black to have enough to make a draw there. So probably this is a good defense from Connor. Got our 2 wins, and now we've got this one, knight h4 and bishop b4 played. Really? That is incredibly risky.
Bishop b4.
Yeah, I mean,
queen's coming in.
If I just take, and then, for example, I mean, there's loads of ideas now, but if I just go e3, for example.
Knight takes defense.
Yeah, but I just want to go bishop takes g2.
Knight take.
Knight f3 check.
And queen h3 coming in. Yeah, looks nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a shame that this isn't. This would.
That way. Well,
this would actually only be. This wouldn't even. Yeah, this wouldn't actually work. But I'm sure that after king f1, I just go queen h3.
Queen h3. Yeah, I was looking at.
I mean, I'm going to be winning something back anyway. Rook e8 is a huge threat.
Oh wait, so this is okay. So it's bishop b4. Let's see the position now. So
yeah.
So we were just taking that pawn.
e3. It's just. I mean, it's just one of many, right? But this is just one idea.
So right, so yeah, you can't defend with f3. It just doesn't look right.
It's a very difficult position, this. I mean,
so go back one move. Bishop b4 takes. Yeah. Yeah, that knight in on h4's scary, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is really scary. I mean, I'm not 100% sure that my variations are correct, but the danger is just immense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with e3. That is the most obvious thing to do. I mean, there's knight f3 check. There's knight g2 as well. Also dangerous. Or even something simple like, I don't know, queen d5 over to g5. It's also really, it won't be bad for black. But this feels like the most natural.
Yeah. So how do you even immediately defend this g2? So you have to play knight e3, right?
Well, I mean, you've got a couple of ideas. I mean, you could just ignore it, right, and go knight b6.
Okay.
And then try and get in d5. That's definitely an idea you've got to consider.
Queen e5. Queen f5, sorry.
Yeah, and the other idea would be just to play f3. The one problem with f3 is that, well, bishop f3 looks quite dangerous to go here and here. This feels like it could just be extremely serious. So I don't think f3 is particularly what you want to do. So let's have a look at knight b6. That would be the crucial one. And now
I have suggested
queen f5.
Queen f5.
All right, so we'll play d5.
d5, okay. So we could take it.
Yeah, I mean, you could indeed take it. Oh, he's played Queen F7, Ravi, so he hasn't done
Oh,
this.
he didn't do it. Okay.
Queen F7. Feels a bit slow somehow. I mean, you got the same. Now Queen C3 played.
So Ravi might come round to G6 as well.
I think D takes
Still
C4 is quite it's getting more and more likely now because I mean, if you go Knight C4, I could even pin you now. So I think he'll play D takes C4 now.
Yeah. Still with the threat of E3. So she might have to drop back her knight to F1.
Possible. But yeah, I think the position's taken. Yeah, he's gone D takes C4. The position's definitely taken a turn for the worse for White here. It's, I mean, with playing D takes C4, that light square bishop suddenly becomes a beautiful piece. It can get to D5, blockade it, and always a chance of opening the diagonal. It's yeah, somehow it's really turned the whole position. So let's have a look. What was played? Knight D6, Rook AB8, not giving up the pawn at all. H2, F5, and then H3 from Ketty to stop G4. Okay. Yeah, now Black needs to find a way to proceed here. Not easy because I mean F4. We've got well, either Rook F4 or E takes F4, and there's a pin on that Queen on G6. But on the other hand, what is White going to do? Not 100% obvious what White is going to do here. Maybe expand a bit on the Queen side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I really would have just wanted to get rid of that knight on D6 for my Rook. It's just you see a Rook on B8. You see a Rook on B8 and a knight on D6, and you sort of think, oh, they're sort of worth each other somehow. I mean, obviously, easier said than done when it's not your pieces, but still.
So Black's going to go, what, F4?
No, I just take it then.
Oh, yeah, because of the pin.
Yeah.
So it was actually hard for Black to advance anything.
Yeah, I mean, that knight on D6 really paralyzes somehow. It's not easy at all.
All right, so then knight C8. Try and force it away.
That is legal. There is a cunning idea. All right, well, let's just try it, shall we? Knight takes F5 here. And bishop G4.
Ooh.
So, where do you want to go?
G6.
Queen here.
Ooh. Okay. Rook A8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check. That's clever.
It's actually quite nasty, this. But I do think that you can play Queen F7.
Thanks for the follow, Dempsey Hooligan.
Queen H2, Rook A8. The question is, yeah, maybe this works. It's all very. It's not clear. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could even just go King G2, and then I get my knight onto E7. I just go Rook F1, and then I go Queen C7, and you're just going to be attacking these pawns. It's. I mean, this bishop is horrific, simply. So I don't know. All very unclear, but it was a good, nice hit. Ooh, Queen F6 played. Kitty's playing fast, but she has to. Rook Gf1.
That's true.
So
He's only got 1 minute left. So Black would probably want to activate this other rook then, the one on B8.
Yeah, I think Black's going to play F4 now. That's probably more or less what had to be done. I think Ketty's probably then going to play Bishop G4. And yeah, I mean, this knight on D6, Bishop on G4, they're setting up a bit of a barrier, really. Not easy.
Maybe he should then go F3 and just block it.
It's possible. It's possible. But I guess, it's also blocked for white now. So if I just go A4 or something, I'm not quite sure, what are you doing exactly afterwards? I mean, you've got to be a bit careful as well. You can't play something like Rook FD8 because I'll take on F3 then and invade with my rooks as well. Not sure. I think, yeah.
Yeah, okay, maybe not. I've gone off the blocking idea.
I think this position's just gone really, really unclear. I think, yeah, Ketty's defended very well there somehow. I think Bishop G4 is just a natural move that'll be played. Yeah, played by Ketty.
Yeah.
And yeah, going to be tough for white for Black to make more of this, I think. But okay, going to be thrilling. Not much time for.
So what? You can't take on E3.
I just take
because
it back.
You just recapture, and then everything's open and it's horrible.
Aye. Yeah. I mean, maybe you can go stuff like Bishop G7. I mean, maybe something like this would be the idea. Because if you go EF, I go Queen D4, and I say, well, I'm getting rid of all your center, so that's going well for me. But not exactly easy to work out really next steps. Make it really. You're very constricted here somehow. But on the other hand, not easy for white to do too much either. So might be an idea. But yeah, Kitty putting up a good fight there anyway. Let's go back to the top game here. Oh, knight E4 played. Okay, but I think we've basically got what we were looking at here. It hasn't changed anything. F5 played, takes. Bishop C4, takes, Rook B2. Rook B1, King E6, C5, and now Rook B5. And
all right, so like white can go Rook D6 and take on A6, and black take on C5, and that's a draw, is it?
That's the draw, yeah. So it looks like Connor's defended this very well. Looks like, and looks like we're going to end up here with the draw. That was quite a tricky little position to defend, actually. So I think, I think he's done extremely well there. This game here, knight takes C4 played. My goodness.
Okay. So we were looking at in a slightly different position. We were looking at E3.
Yeah, I think e3 here is going to be really strong. I mean, I think the tactical idea is that bishop d5, you'll play knight d6, and if rook c3, knight there, and then you don't have, somehow white's escaping. Although, to be honest, I mean, this also looks unbelievably dangerous here now, because we've got, I mean, this looks really strong as well. Pretty forcing as well, to be honest. Rook c2, knight has to come back to d6 and then e3. This is very, very strong. There's probably just no defense either. I mean, rook f1, I go bishop g2. But also, I would think that e3 would be very strong as well. So if you go knight e3, I've got bishop g2.
Oh, now this is slightly different as before because you haven't got knight.
Yeah,
F2
I mean,
check.
yeah, but queen on c3 is just is awful tactically, really. And obviously, if you go fe, then I've got, well, whatever, bishop g2 or whatever. It's just going to be carnage. So, yeah, I think e3 is very, very strong, and also the simple bishop d5 is also, really, really good as well. Just you end up just playing here. I just don't see what the defense could be, really. I mean, probably, I suppose. Yeah, maybe this one gives white some feel that you might have some sort of last-ditch defense. I think probably e3 is the most accurate.
Yeah.
And then if you go knight d6, then yeah, simply queen d5 probably is very, very strong.
So if Ravi converts this, he'll be on 3.5 out of 4.
Yeah, no, we'll have done very, very well there. Very, very well indeed. So David's still thinking about this position. It's not at all obvious.
Yeah. So Ketty's, I mean, she's actually improved her position, and she's been playing all on increment for quite a while now.
Yeah, no, she's done very, very well there. It's yeah, the key thing really is whether black can cause that white center to collapse. I mean, that's the key thing.
Yes. Okay. And that's hence this bishop g7 stuff and trying to undermine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key thing, and maybe you could combine it with bishop g7 and maybe get some b6 in or something like that, and then when the center collapses, black breaks through. I mean, it's possible, it's conceivable.
It's very much Alekine's stuff, isn't it? That's what it's all about, getting the center.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
But I'd say it's not particularly easy, this by any means, because white's quite well entrenched with that knight on d6, bishop on g4. So yeah, maybe this would be sensible. Although, yeah, I mean, you start seeing, for example, here takes. I could play f5 simply.
Okay. Take on d2.
Oops. Are you going to go bishop c3, are you?
Yeah, that was the plan.
Well, all right, I'll go rook d1.
Okay. Take on b. Oh, maybe. Yeah, it's taken there. Okay, there.
f6
take on c5.
Yeah, maybe you can. Are you getting away with this amazingly? I mean, I could take on here, I suppose, and take on here.
Can we capture?
Just go bishop e7. get some. Go bishop e7. Yeah, I don't know. Have some opposite coloured bishop positions, but with rooks on a couple of pawns.
We have different moves. King h8.
And queen d1, yeah.
D1.
Queen d1. Okay, so yeah, Kitty's looking maybe to play queen b3. Attack the pawn on d5, for example.
Yes.
Also an idea. Not easy. Not easy. That's all what practical chess is all about. It's not about you can win a pawn or whatever and you're up on the clock, but still, putting it away is always so difficult. Have we had this? Not quite. Oh, you went c6.
Okay.
e5, rook d. Okay. d6 takes h4. Right, but yeah. Okay, king d5, king e4.
This has got to be fine for black.
Should be fine
for black, I think.
Yeah, no, this should be completely fine, of course. Slightly, I'm wondering, maybe slightly risky way of playing, I don't know. But yeah, nice and active. Rook f7 played. I have to say, I'm finding these moves a little bit mysterious from white, but
I think he's gonna meet rook c5 with
rook f6, certainly. King d5. I think a little bit of, yeah, I mean, obviously Connor's playing on increments, so it's a little bit h5.
Yeah, okay, that's what he's doing.
Okay, but I'm just going to take that, surely.
And rook f5.
Yeah, and I'll go rook c5, I guess. Doesn't look like we're likely to get anything from that.
They're both. Who's playing for a win?
I'm not sure who's playing for a win, really. I think they're just playing to play, seeing whether anything crops up. But I think rook c5 here is just very, very simple. Most probably. Why are you going to go? Yeah, I mean, I suppose I'm just trying to think what would Daniel's idea be. I mean,
f4, you go king e4.
If f4, I go king e4, and here I'll go check, so I get out of the way and then take this one. But I guess what you're going to do, you're going to take on h5.
Yeah.
And then after rook a5, you'll play f4.
Okay, so king e4, you're going to try f5, are you?
I think that's what you're going to try. Even king e6, you'll probably try f5 check. And then g4. But
don't believe it. Don't believe it more than a draw.
No. But you're unbalancing. I mean, that's what can you say? It's you're just
e4.
e4 is quite sensible. Yeah, but I think this is something like this is what he's going to do. I mean, to be honest, actually, after f4, it might be even better if I played king d4. Because if you go f5, then I go e4, and that e pawn's quite fast.
Was king e4 not clean? Says B22 C3 Sicilian.
King e4, I guess f5.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean maybe king e4 or king d4 straight away? It's possible. Not sure.
King d4. No, he likes your king d4 now.
Okay, king d4. Yeah. f5 e4. This looks. Although I mean, thing is, you put it on an engine and the engine says, "Oh, easy draw. What are you bothering me with?" But yeah, for a human player, this is yeah, obviously slightly worrying always. He's gone king e6. Okay. But I'd expect Daniel now to go f5 check and play g4 and just try and claim that he's got. Oh, he's played king h3. That's sneaky.
You go like rook d5, maybe.
Yeah, I guess that I guess then that Daniel will go f5 and g4 and claim that he's made some progress, which he has in actual fact. Okay, but yeah, now he's crumble loonies. He's going to go f5 check. My goodness, just a complicated game.
Mm.
And now I'm guessing g4. All right, so we got a few we got a few ideas now. Actually, it's a little bit. Golly.
A5 then.
Yeah.
But if check, we can't go king g5. That's for sure. We have to drop backwards. Yeah, maybe e4, right? Yeah.
E4 would be sort of my my instinctive approach, but I'm not sure that's necessarily a.
Okay, so rook h6.
Well, maybe king h4 first. I'm not sure. Just to stop the king from coming to g5. So after e3, I could go rook h6 check, and then rook e6 like this.
Okay.
And okay, a5 played by Connor. Now, interesting question. I mean, I don't think you want to do. I don't think you want to allow this. So it feels a little bit risky for.
But after king. Oh yeah, I was going to say king g3, but then you go rook there. Check. Yeah. All right. So what about king h4 straight away?
Yeah. So I think king h4 is probably the move that you want to play.
And still e4 probably, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think you've wasted time with a5. I think
Yeah.
White losing a couple of tempi to pick up that pawn wasn't really relevant, because if you go a4 now, we'll just go check, and then rook here probably. Ooh, good lord. It's not.
Leela against Stockfish in this type of position. Engine evaluation. They probably just both know exactly what the.
Yeah, no, Stockfish will tell you exactly what this ending is. With and they draw it with not the slightest hint of problem. But that's obviously for humans. I mean, especially rook endings. Rook endings are very confusing. Very often depending on some tempi subtleties or whatever. So I'd say king h4 looks to me like the most natural. This might be possible, but it just looks ridiculously risky. Really, you have to go back here because if king h4, you've got rook b1, so you have to go back to g2, and then you're just not really sure whether your king's going to get caught somehow. But yeah, doesn't look bad either, to be honest. I mean, rook b2, king there. King there, king there, king there, king there. I can do that. G5, E4. Who knows? Not clear at all. But yeah, very, very risky. But King H4 is way better. And King G7 played by Connor. Okie dokie. That's a good move, probably. So just there's the only thing that's a bit awkward is that rook on H5 for white. You know, obviously if it was on the other side of the board, that would be way, way better. So that does a very good job of keeping the rook a little bit bottled in. How are we going to do this now?
E4. Oh, no, not E4, because F6 check wins the rook.
That is true. It's also white's move as well, so...
yeah. Okay. So white's rook isn't ideal.
No, I mean, rook G5 check is one idea, followed by rook G6.
Yeah.
Feels a touch slow. That's the only... But
That's
yeah,
done.
It's what he's done. It's very understandable. Rook G6. It just means that if you go E4, I can go rook E6, or A4, I can go... I can get behind, you know, one of the...
Yeah, but only one of them at a time.
Well, that is the point. So I think maybe sacking one would be a good idea here. Maybe we should go E4.
Rook E6.
And then go A4.
Oh, take?
And rook A5.
Oh, right, okay.
And that should be... Yeah, that should be drawn. This one will be drawn if we can do that. Yeah, and Connor's done that. Yeah, this should probably end up drawn, I think. I mean, that E pawn is going to be fast, and we can either throw, yeah, King G3. I can probably go rook B3 check. Yeah, you'd expect the pawns to be a little bit just fast enough for black. Crumbs, yeah, Daniel found interesting possibilities there for. So look, what have we got? Bishop D5 played. Oh, yeah, Ravi did this one. Played E3.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, Bishop B1, exactly. Oh, there we are. That was the line that we said. Oh, yeah, I said this one actually, that this was, you know, this was, I wasn't 100% sure this was the best line because it gave white the feeling that you might have some desperate attack. And I was expecting this one, to be honest, with the idea of knight E1 and EF. You know, I thought that was maybe better, but he played bishop F5 and now knight F5 from Zala.
Okay. So knight takes knight, king takes bishop.
King takes bishop indeed.
And then knight takes D4.
Yeah, you're a pawn up. I mean, that's possible. I think you should have been way more than a pawn up. Ideally, you know, you would, from that position with all the attack, you would have thought, oh, you know, I should have got a bit more out of that one than I did. I don't know whether there's a better way of doing it. I mean, sorry, not knight F3. What am I talking about? Knight F5, King G2. So yeah, knight D4 wins a pawn. But you would rather somehow just put your rooks on the 7th and then just claim victory, but it's not going to be easy.
Well, I suppose that pawn on E3, you could always advance it to f2, couldn't you, at some point?
Yeah.
Nice.
Just the king is safe then. I mean, maybe if I just went rook e8, maybe.
Okay.
How about that one? So just running ef and rook e2.
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily easy to deal with.
All right. So king f3.
Ooh, I got knight takes d4. Check that.
Yeah. Okay. Not that then.
I mean, rook c1 seems like a definite possible. Rook c1.
Okay.
I want to do something so cunning. So cunning it would make you gasp with shock. But I don't think it works. I mean, I could go knight.
Where are you looking?
I could go knight d4 here. Well, you know, the idea is that here I'm forking, so I'm assuming that I'm better than I was. And yeah, if you go rook c1, I go probably ef. And assuming my knight's getting out of there alive, then I've picked up 2 pawns.
Still a bit of a way to go, though.
Yeah, no, there's still you're still just going to be struggling on a little bit. Where I don't think it shouldn't really have come that far. I don't think.
Who about knight h4?
Yeah. So king g3. Now I was actually looking at this line and rook e3. This was what I wanted. And rook g2 and try and catch you here. But anyway, you can even go king f4. So it's total rubbish.
I'm g5. Oh,
I've got a rook on c2.
You've got a rook on, please. Oh yeah, fair enough. Okay.
I'm not really going to have enough material there to weave a mating net.
No.
Ravi's just taken on d4 there, so he's going for the extra pawn. I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure that this is winning. Really, I do think this other move e3 was just way better. Very well defended by White. White's really exploited all the possibilities, but yeah, still going to be some work for Black. Although I think probably clear advantage. Borderline just winning. Depends a little bit what resources White has got. Because I mean, you could just try and just push your a pawn and just say, well, show me what you can do. It's not very clear, to be honest. Okay, interesting. Let's have a look at. Whoa! What's happened here? So
what is happening here? Okay.
Ketty has gone pawn grabbing.
And David did put his bishop back to g7.
Yeah, but there's no progress yet in terms of.
We can't really take on e3 because of the pin at the moment.
No, that would be. Yeah. Well, I don't know really. I'm actually starting to get a bit worried about Black now. Because I mean, you're gonna go Queen c3 and then you'll go a4 and then after ba you'll go b5. And the knight will get driven away and there's 2 connected passed pawns there. I mean, at some stage I wonder whether Black's just going to have to sacrifice on d4 with the knight.
What about just rook a8 and try and get the a file?
Yeah, but rook 8 I go Queen b3 I think. And
then rook a. Oh, you're threatening d5, yeah.
They're threatening d5 as well, and the whole thing collapses really. So, I mean, I could go, could do something like this, I suppose.
Yes.
But it does feel a bit desperate, really. My goodness. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'd like to move my queen away somewhere and threaten FE, I suppose. I mean, but the thing is, if I take on E3, then there's all these light squares are just really dangerous around my king. I mean, I can't be sure that I'm not just going to get mated or something. So yeah, this is going to be thrilling until the end, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a look. How is
How's
Connor
the rook
doing?
ending going?
That's what he did. He did that one. So yeah, Daniel did probably the most sensible thing, which was to leave the pawn closest to the white king there.
Yeah.
Rook e3 played. Yeah, that was probably g5. Rook check. King f4. Wow. What an interesting rook ending. Rook e8 played. I'd assume this was a draw. Yeah, this is just a draw. Nice find from Connor. My goodness, it's not obvious at all. But the problem is, King f3. Well, King g4, we just give a check.
Yeah.
King f3, we've got this rook e5.
Yeah.
And g6, I go King g6, and yeah, g6, I go King f6 here. So there's just no way that you're going to be able to do this. I don't think. Can't think of any way that you could do this. Yeah, this one's looking like a draw. I think this one's definitely looking like a draw.
How are you doing for stamina? Are you still going strong, or?
I'm still going strong. I mean,
let's
say what you like, Natasha.
I'm fine too.
We can carry on for a few more. Wait a minute. Ravi actually got the line more or less that we were. Got something like the line we got. Oh, Rook C1 played. To stop Rook F5. Actually, this was clever from Ravi. Playing, looking for Rook F5 or Rook G5. So White felt the need to do this, and now 2 extra pawns. Actually, this knight is well placed. So yeah, that was decent. That was decent. So this should just be a win for Ravi. Tough defense from Zala, but coming through there, looks like. And this is the absolute Queen G6, Queen B3. Now the whole center is collapsing now.
Oh, how do we defend this pawn on D5? Is it possible? Knight knight E7.
Well, if you go knight E7, then yeah, you're never going to get anything done, really. So I think it's time to, as the Dutch say,
forget about the center. Yeah. Oh, is this the second?
As the Dutch say, to pull on the big trousers.
Oh.
And he's got knight E7. sorry, David. But yeah, I don't know. Actually, as I was saying that, I didn't think it was very good at all for White. But somewhere there had to be you had to sack somewhere on D4 or just go for it simply, because I think this is, yeah. I mean, White is definitely better now. I think. He takes F4 even. Ketty. My goodness. I hadn't expected that one. So what is happening there? Has Ketty spotted something? I'm not sure about this one. Another twist in the game. Well, I mean, is Ketty going to go Rook G2 or something? Or
Rook G2
doesn't look good. This really doesn't look good to me. This is not the moment to do it, I don't think. Rook D2. Oh, maybe is Ketty gonna sack on D5? Maybe.
Maybe.
Is that really good? Oh, well, maybe if you play F5 first. Oh, that was a good move. I almost called it out.
Oh, well, bishop e5. Okay,
yeah.
Can't take because of the pin. So white could still sack on d5, though.
Yeah, you take the bishop
on f5 like a flash. Very far.
I'm thinking that maybe she's going to take on d5 next move, but
okay.
I don't think this is very good, actually. I think, you're playing f5. The bishop on g4 is just a big pawn now, so I think this is starting to go a bit wrong now for white. Unless there's something cunning and clever that I'm missing, which again is completely possible. I mean, maybe you could just try rook e1, I suppose. Maybe.
Rook e1, bishop c3.
Oh, is that your idea?
Well,
maybe I can.
Yeah. Okay. I suppose you do knight takes. Oh, no, knight takes.
No, it's not very clear. I mean, I was looking at here and here, but we'll give a queen a1 check, so that's not dangerous at all. I could go knight e4 and rook here, but you just go queen e5. Rook d5 she's played. I'm a little bit worried about this one, to be honest, because I mean, this bishop, which used to be helping, isn't helping anymore. So okay, yeah. God, what a position. I mean, rook d8 is kind of obvious here.
Yeah.
If we go rook d1, bizarrely enough, we're threatening knight f7 there. No, we're not. We're not threatening. We maybe are. I was thinking about e3, but you can go knight f7. Obviously, rook f7, there's queen d8, but I can go queen f7. And if queen f7, there's rook d1 check.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I can go queen e5, though. I'll probably go queen g7. And, well, I could go queen e3, I suppose. Takes rook f5. Just a mess. It's a mess. I think Kitty has to go rook d1 here. I don't see another idea. I mean, I could take as well and just go e3 maybe. Maybe queen e6. e2. Takes here. That wouldn't be too bad, right? I mean, here I'd go here and d7, and with the bishop on g4.
Yeah.
Should manage. Yeah. Still, yeah, it's just like...
So she played rook t1, yeah.
Yeah, it's murky like hell. I mean, maybe another idea would be to play bishop f4 here. With the idea if knight e4, then I go queen b2.
Threatening queen h2, mate.
Yeah, not that knight e4 was a good move, but queen e4, I could... Well, I mean, what I'm going to do is then I'm going to take this one, and obviously getting rid of your d pawn is quite good. So bishop f4, I mean, I'm threatening queen b2. That's the idea. If you go knight f7, I'll go queen f7, and that works again, with this trick.
Yeah.
So I think bishop f4 would be a very good move. Because I think your king's, the white king's is in a bit of difficulty then.
Okay, so Daniel Fernandez and Conor Murphy have now drawn.
They have now drawn. A great game, that one, and a very interesting rook ending there. So well played, both players. Tough title player fight. Ravi Haria is he's a pretty solid technical player. So you would expect him to do the biz, just gradually creeping forward there. That's really good. The big fight is this one, and we're waiting for David. Almost caught up.
The move
almost caught up with Ketty now on time.
Oh yeah, they're both short time now.
I mean, I guess
they don't get more time. It's just they just keep getting their increment. They get 30 seconds a move, but no more big batch of time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess after bishop f4, we could go queen d4.
Right. So takes, I suppose.
Yeah, I was wondering about something like this. Oops. d7 and then just coming with the king. This bishop is not. Well, I could go bishop e2 or bishop h5. Not sure. David took on d6 anyway. C takes d6. Yeah, bishop f4, queen d4. Annoying to swap off the queens like that. It might have been worth a punt just to try it. And then e3. Oh, yeah, okay. That was a possibility. Was I saying now? I thought queen e6. This is what I was expecting.
Okay. So you probably would not take that one.
No, I don't think you should.
Yeah. So queen. Ooh. I was going to say queen c3, but then queen h6.
Yeah, that would be annoying, I think. I mean, e2 was we looked at. That didn't look so amazing. No, okay. Maybe we just go something like king g7 here. So I can go d7. We go rook f7. I don't know. Fear a little bit for white's life really here. But yeah, obviously still very sharp. Let's have a look. How's this one going? I think it's going to be over in a few more moves, this one. So let's just stick with this one. Queen c5 played. Ooh, hadn't expected that one.
Okay, queen c5.
Queen c5. I can't
Rook e8, is that too much?
Rook e8 is an interesting idea. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, rook d7 or rook f7. You know, just intending rook f d7 is also quite decent. I thought queen e6 was a better way of doing this. You know, just was just sort of restricting the opponent a lot more. But rook f8 doesn't look bad at all either, to be honest. I mean, we're just going to threaten. We're just threatening e2. Yeah, rook f8. I think you're probably right, Natasha. I think that's probably a good move. Played. You've just got to play it. So, oh, queen b5. Wow.
Right. Oh, because the rook's on freeze if you take
sneaky.
Yes.
Oh, sneaky Ketty. Good lord.
So move the rook.
Yeah, that was very sneaky, I have to say. I hadn't missed that. In all fairness, this does feel very ropey for white, but to do it like this, but
Rook e4.
Rook
Rook
e4.
e5, because that attacks the queen.
Yeah, rook e5. We'll probably go queen b6, I guess. Oh, then we can just go e2, can't we?
Yeah.
That would be very unpleasant. Yeah, rook e5 looks quite nice, like a nice move. Queen e5.
Okay.
A little bit nervous about that one. A little bit nervous about that one, just because it frees you. The f pawn suddenly gets freed, so you might get your bishop active, but maybe it's not possible. This takes, rook takes, but just your queen was a really good. No, I think it's probably a good move. It's probably a good move that.
Katie's just got 5 seconds, if we believe the clocks on here.
It doesn't have much
So the
time.
queens have come off.
Queens have come off.
So black's threat is now e2.
Yeah, I mean, just getting rid of those pawns, after which, well, black will be a lot better. Although, yeah, not clear whether black will be winning that. King g2. Don't know whether that was the best way of doing it. Yeah, it's very easy to second guess all these moves, but I think e2 now needs to be done.
Okay, e2, rook e1.
Then rook takes d6.
Takes d6. Something takes e2.
Yeah, then we'll go rook d2 and take on a2, and you just got all these split pawns, really, which is a bit annoying. I don't think that's yeah. I think that looks very good for black, for white, to be honest. But I mean, I'd love to go a4, but I think I'm just going to lose those pawns as well. Now this is looking very good for black. Now I think just rook takes d6. Then somehow we're gonna end up picking up.
So say we mop up those pawns. Oh, but we mop up those pawns, and it's like exchange up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very difficult for white
to hold. Yeah.
I mean, I suppose we could do takes. The problem is actually is that if you go king here, then I go g4. That is the big problem.
Okay, and then h3.
And then h3. So I'm expecting rook d2 and
yeah. Eventually could go king f.
Yeah, king f3 is possible. I mean, I can still go g4 then.
Okay.
I mean, it's not. I mean, there is a slight element of nerves in this. I mean, you'll go bishop f1.
Yeah.
I'll go h2, bishop d2, but then probably what I will. Oh yeah, well you're threatening bishop h1, aren't you? Or king g3 even. So I'll go rook d1, but then I don't know.
Yeah. The one these pawns are
I'm not 100% sure about that one.
That could be better for white.
Yeah, you never know. It's probably not a good thing to do. I think, but we should just take on a2 first. We've got that in reserve, of course. Maybe we go b5. Then maybe we could go. Would we be quick enough to go g4? Maybe. Complicated, but yeah, okay. It takes. Maybe you just got to risk it with. king f3 played. Yeah.
And rook takes a2 straight away.
Rook takes a2. Yeah. That's yeah. I think it's fair enough. I mean, I think the other one is just too tricky to calculate. Maybe if your king was on g7, you'd sort of say, oh, yeah, I'll give it a go. But I think practically speaking, this is the best line, and it puts all the onus on Ketty, of course, to come up with some defense. So I mean, if b5, well, I mean, we could still do this one, g4 and then h3, and then bishop f1, h2 there, rook a1. Yeah, in all fairness, this must just be winning, you would have thought. I mean, I'll just pick up the b pawn and then...
White could have gone king g3 instead of king e4.
Yeah, but then I go h1 queen. I mean, I'm going to pick up the b pawn, so yeah, I mean, that's just never going to work, I don't think.
Is it not going to be quick enough? No.
So Ketty went bishop c4. Rook b2 played. Yeah, Black's doing this very calmly, I think. I mean, if you're going b5, I'll go rook b4. You go bishop somewhere, and then I'll go king g7. King f6, and then yeah, I think this is just losing for Ketty, unfortunately for Ketty. Let's have a look. How's this one going?
Yeah.
Well, I think all Ravi needs to do is not allow a stalemate or some miraculous draw, and it will be finished. Looking very promising indeed. Yeah, he's played the rook to b4. That's a good move. And king g7 is going to come in pretty soon. Hard luck, Ketty, and well played, David. Ketty recovered really well after being under the cosh all this time. But bishop e6 played. Yeah.
So takes.
Well, no. If you take it, then we'll go king g4. That's not good.
Okay, so king g7.
We'll king g7.
Yeah. Okay.
Go there. We'll go king f6. The problem is that when we give a rook b3 check, you're going to have to go back. For example, so king g7. Let's say bishop d7, king f6. Yeah, you're simply going to have to go back. So we'll coddle you a little bit like this, and it's hard to believe that this could ever.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I go rook d3, rook check. I get you back to the back rank, and then I go king e5.
Yeah. Alrighty. So okay, this one is looking clear. Touch wood, we'll say. And so basically we're going to see very likely Ravi converting this one and David on the other board. So a very exciting round of chess there. We had one draw and the other 4 games are decisive. It looks like.
Yeah, that's right.
We weren't sure of when we saw the Berlin defense appear.
No, but Jonah did a.
That was one of the
lovely,
decisive games. Quick win for White against the Berlin. We had in this round. Very nice tactic, knight f6 by Jonah Willow. So have a look at that if you get a chance. And that's great. Thank you all very much for watching, and thanks for your comments in the chat. We haven't yet mentioned the sponsors for this event, who were the John Robinson Trust, the ECF International Director, Friends of Chess, and Lawrence Cooper. So it's great to see this tournament happening. It gives lots of opportunities for the players in the tournament. Very nice event. So well done to all of them. Well done to the arbiters and everybody who helped put the tournament together. Thanks all in the chat, and thanks very much for watching. Thank you, Matthew, of course.
Thanks, Natasha. Thanks very much for watching, everyone, and yeah, enjoy the rest of the chess.